next topic?
Okay, so my first topic is the kind of the comparison of buying a PC versus building your own. And I'm talking specifically about gaming PCs because I've actually started to buy parts for a computer, mostly for the purposes of gaming. I just want to get into gaming PCs because I feel like I don't really want to tie up our TV anymore for games, and I don't know, I might stick to consoles too. But so I've started buying a few parts for it, and I didn't really seek out a lot of advice about what route to go with it, and so I've kind of hit a plateau because I'm trying to figure out how much I want to spend on it and what parts to get next. And I've been reading a bunch of different articles and getting a lot of advice from people that have done this themselves, and it seems like most everybody tells me that it's probably better to build it yourself, even if you don't have a lot of experience, because it's also you're usually going to be able to get a little bit cheaper, and you can also learn a lot about computers while you're doing it. So you're not just, it's kind of like, I don't want to say like building your own engine or something like that, but changing your own oil or something like that. But I just want to hear if you have any thoughts as to what might be a good course of action, because what I've got is I've got a tower, I've got like just a CD-ROM drive or DVD-ROM drive, and I've got a power supply. That's all I've got. The tower's huge. I wanted it to be easy to take stuff in and out. So I've spent maybe, I don't know, maybe $100, $150 max so far. So at this point, I don't know. I've looked at some gaming PCs that are pre-built, and yeah, so I'd love to hear your input as to what you think would be, what you would do and all that.
So coming from a guy myself who used to be all about the PC gaming and building PCs and the whole basically custom PC world, I've kind of come full circle right now in my life to exclusively consoles, mainly because of the buy-in costs. I mean, it's like $399 and you're good for 7 to 8 years. It's like,
right.
That's it. You're good. All you have to do is buy the games. Whereas when I was thinking so much money, I remember I had, this is a long time ago, but the last time I actually built a computer from start to finish, like with replacing parts, I had, I didn't buy the case. I had an existing case from an existing manufacturer, but it had a, plenty of area for expandable memory, as well as a PCI Express slot, which back then was like, amazing, going from AGP to PCI Express. But I remember, I bought the DDR2 and then later upgraded to DDR3, and went from 8 to I think 16 was the highest I ever went on any custom configured PC. Again, it's been a while since I built it. You can probably do a lot more, but it felt like a never-ending pit, because the second I finished it, even though it was great and it ran the games I wanted it to run, I was still like, but I know it can run other games. And when I tried to download the other games and they ran not in max settings, it frustrated me. And then I immediately had the urge to go out and get a better, more souped up motherboard with better RAM and better video card. And I know the second I do that, 2 years later or 1 year later, and sometimes another game will come out that has even better and even harsher graphics and requirements to run. And I feel like I was getting on a kind of a never-ending chain of wanting and buying, wanting and buying, wanting and buying. I would never personally, to answer your question, buy a gaming PC. I would buy and not build a PC if I was just using it for, browsing, maybe some light video editing, nothing extreme, just general computer usage, because I feel like if you're going to do that, save yourself the hassle. But the cool part about building your own computer is kind of you really have a sense of pride in it when you're done. Almost like like if you paint something or make a YouTube video and you put it up. Right. It's not something someone else did for you. This is something you made, and so you have a lot of pride in something that not only did you build it, but hey, look at this, it's so cool, I can run the game. So it's kind of a two-way street. I think for now I will stick with consoles, especially now with news that they're doing the the new Xbox next year. That's a souped up, basically Xbox.
I saw that. That looked really cool.
And PS4 Neo, which is going to come out sometime next year, apparently too. Both of them basically upgrading to a 4K Blu-ray drive and better graphics cards and CPU and everything. So if they start doing more of a upgrade consoles it seems like what they're going to do is new console comes out 4 years, 5 years later, upgrade version of that console comes out instead of doing a slim like they only used to do a slim. And then maybe at 10 years, then the next actual full generation comes out, which I think is smart. It's kind of taking advantage of the smartphone model, kind of upgrade as you go instead of having to wait years and years to get the next thing. But
yeah,
upgrading is fun. And if you haven't built a PC out there, do it just once, just to experience and know how a computer works. Because once you put together a computer, you realize that if your computer goes bad, whether it be a hard drive or a stick of RAM or a video card, you'll never believe how easy it is literally to go on Amazon, buy one part, and have your computer fixed and working like it was brand new.
Well, that's some good thoughts there. Yeah, see, I'm kind of at a toss-up here because on the one hand, most of my friends are on consoles. I've been on Xbox Live for a long time, still on 360, but there is a sense of community that you get with something like Xbox Live. It's a little bit more developed. The PC gaming world can be like that, I suppose, in different areas, but I really was just thinking in terms of like, on the one hand, I'd be able to learn a lot about PCs, like you said, which is something I would love to learn more about because I've never particularly been that PC savvy. But I don't know. It's a real toss-up because most of my favorite franchises come out on both, PC and console. Like I'm one of the biggest anticipated games for me is Mass Effect Andromeda, and I know it's going to be on PC and console. I really don't care what I would play it on. I just want to play it, So at some point, I'm going to make. Obviously, I know at some point I'm going to make some kind of movement toward either getting a new console or building my own PC, something like that. I don't think I would mind too much the upgrading with the PC because I don't really spend a lot of money on stuff for myself. I don't really, my wife and I, neither one of us really care to just have tons of stuff. I would use my PC for a lot more than just gaming. I would love to get more into blogging and video editing and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been hearing a lot of different feedback from people. Most people seem to say it's better to build than to buy PC game or gaming PC. But I know that when it comes down to price, if you're trying to get something kind of high end, I don't think there's too much of a difference. I remember watching a YouTube video not too long ago of I'm not sure who it was, but this guy basically he decided to have Best Buy present him with one of their best gaming PCs, and he matched it up with what he could piece together himself for the same cost.
Yeah. And
he only saved about $40 max. And actually, even at that, his build wasn't necessarily as good. It was better in one way, but weaker in another. So, I definitely see the pros and cons of it. I was just wanted your input on it. And if anyone on YouTube, any of our viewers, have any input on this too, we would love to hear your feedback. What you think would be a better move. I don't consider myself to be a hardcore gamer anymore in the sense that I'm not playing consistently. I'd say I probably play 1 or 2 games every couple days right now. I would probably be on it a little bit more if it was something where I wasn't sharing a TV with my wife. I'd probably be playing more. But so there's that benefit too, because it would mean I wouldn't have to hog up the TV. But that's probably one of the biggest.
Well, here's a hint for everyone at home. All you potential married folks, whether you're girlfriend or just you're married, make your wives happy. I have a rule. I turn off the TV, and my wife will will agree with this. If she walks in the door, as soon as I can save it and exit and turn off the console, I do it. Happy wife, happy life. Wise advice.
But you see, in my household, my wife plays games too, so she's a gamer. She's not as much as a gamer as I am, but she actually mostly just plays The Sims on PCs. So
yeah,
but she can get on that thing for hours and hours. I mean, more so than I get on Gears. I mean, so. But that's because she's a teacher and she's got time in her hands right now because it's summer.
my wife just sticks with the iOS games, Disney Kingdoms, Candy Crush, Minion Rush. But to me, those are games, but they're not games. You know what I'm saying?